Do you ever get so in your head about the right way to do things that you just lose all your dang creativity? This has been happening to me a lot more the last few years. I used to really just thrive in being what I'll call wildly creative. And man, midlife wrecked that. And I know that good will come out of it. And I am scrappy for my creativity. I am scrappy for my authenticity. I just clicked on a YouTube video, and God bless this creator. I've seen her for years. And this allure, this promise of cash quick, XYZ amount of money in 55 days. And as I started to watch and even looked at the free tool that she was offering, what I saw was a top-down linear approach. And for those of us that are creative, maybe autistic or ADHD or both, like I am, my body, thankfully, is telling me to run when I see top-down thinking. Top-down thinking works for so many people, but I spent 40 years shoving myself unknowingly down into it. And when I look back, the joys and successes that I did have were when I was ruled by my ADD and spontaneity and went ahead and did things my way. And I don't know how, like, this blows my mind. I don't know how after 20 years of business, I am more anxious about it than I remember being before. And my strategy for that is just to be compassion. What I think is going on, and many of us midlife humans, we spend the first few seasons of our life doing all the things we think we're supposed to do. If you were an early rebel, I'm jealous. I wasn't. I did not have a cognitive awareness of how much I was shoving myself into people-pleasing buckets and ways of being. And it was unconscious because I was socialized and conditioned to do that. And my sweet little autistic ADHD nervous system did have a high need for approval and connection, and not just connection, but attunement connection with people. And there were a lot of, I call myself a head-led person. I always thought I was heart-led because I do have strong heart beliefs and a lot of care and a lot of things that one might associate with the heart. However, when I am stressed, and the distinction for this I got from this woman named Suzanne Stabile, and the distinction is when I am pressed or stressed and my body is going into protection mode, where do I go for protection? And I go to my head. I go to intelligence, I go to logic, I go to reason, I go to research, I go to thinking, I go to education. A major sign of that is overthinking. So here I have the capacity on one hand to be this wild and free creative artist. And then I also have, and there are some times when that plus these thinking skills are part of my genius. And honestly, as I've become wiser, as I have dealt with more of my childhood trauma and my artificial coping mechanisms, and interestingly, as I have connected more with the wisdom of my body, What I am left with is I'm less disassociated, as in not drinking the way I used to drink, as I am more grounded and willing to feel uncomfortable feelings. It really sets off a lot of overthinking, what you might call procrastination, getting ready to get ready, thinking that there is a right way to do things. And if you're on YouTube, maybe you're just a consumer on YouTube, but if you're creating on YouTube, really if you're creating anywhere in your life, and I'm fortunate to have a feed full of a lot of things, but some of the things that pop up and really help me are the people who help me remember how to be my creative and artist and soulful and poetry and not linear self in a linear world on a linear platform with a whole host of linear tits. That's all. That's all I wanted to share. I just want to encourage you if you're creative. I know that yesterday for me was Monday, and normally I come in on Monday mornings and I start and I think about planning. And yesterday I made myself not plan. I was like, Allison, you know everything to do. I've done this long enough. There is nothing I haven't tried. I know what works. I know what works. And so I decided to, instead of planning, not plan. I kind of went with an F it attitude, like just play, piddle at my desk, play with creativity, play with what I'm consuming, play. I didn't really create anything, but I did this in between work of creating, which is different than getting ready to get ready. I lit my candle, I wrote in my journal. It seems like it's not productive, but there's these little rituals and little piddling around my desk and in my studio without activating my brainy, get it done, hard on myself parts. And I know I need more of that. Thanks for watching.